The neon signs of Newterra's entertainment district cast fractured rainbows across the rain-slicked streets. Jasper checked his watch for the third time, his prosthetic fingers clicking softly against the worn metal casing. The cafe behind him hummed with the usual Friday night crowd. Humans, Zentari, a few Kraloxians nursing their methane cocktails in specialized booths. He'd almost canceled. 3 years since the Frontier Wars ended, and he still found crowds difficult. But his sister had been insistent. "You need to live again, Jazz. She's perfect for you. Trust me." A figure emerged from the alley across the street, and Jasper's breath caught. She moved like liquid shadow, her lupine features unmistakable even in the dim light. A Lycarian, one of the famed wolf warriors who'd fought alongside humanity during the wars. But it wasn't her species that made him stare. It was the rags. Her clothing hung in tatters, barely held together by fraying threads and desperate stitches. The fabric that might have once been a dress now resembled something salvaged from a disaster zone. Her fur, silver white and beautiful, poked through gaps in the material. She walked with her head slightly down, shoulders curved inward as if trying to make herself smaller. Eleanor stopped at the crosswalk, and Jasper saw her ears flatten against her skull. She was looking at the cafe, looking at the well-dressed patrons inside. Her yellow eyes swept the outdoor seating area, landing on him for just a moment before darting away. She was going to run. Jasper knew that look. He'd worn it himself 1,000 times since coming home. The look that said, "I don't belong here. I'm not enough. I should leave before they see how broken I am." He stood up, his military training overriding his social anxiety. "Eleanor." Her head snapped toward him, ears perking up. Up close, he could see the scars beneath her fur, the kind that came from energy weapons and shrapnel. Battle scars. Her eyes were wide, golden and luminous, filled with something between hope and terror. "You're..." Jasper. Her voice was rough, accented with the growling undertones of her species. "That's me." He smiled, and it felt more genuine than any smile he'd managed in months. "You look cold. Want to head inside?" Eleanor's ears flattened again. I should have said. I should have told your sister. I don't have..." She gestured helplessly at her rags. "The settlement money. It never came. I've been waiting for 3 years, and the bureaucracy. They say there's no record of my service, even though I have my discharge papers. And I thought maybe tonight I could just pretend, hey." Jasper stepped closer, careful not to crowd her. "I don't care about your clothes." She laughed, bitter and sharp. "Everyone cares. I've tried 14 jobs. 14. They take one look at me and suddenly the position is filled. I live in a shelter. I eat at soup kitchens. I'm not," her voice cracked. "I'm not what your sister promised you. I'm sorry. This was a mistake." Jasper felt something crack open in his chest. He'd been there. God, he'd been exactly there, living out of his car for 8 months because his VA housing kept getting delayed, watching civilians flinch away from his scars and his 1,000-yard stare. "Do you know what I see?" he asked quietly. Eleanor's ears twitched uncertainly. "I see a Lycarian warrior who held the line at Proxima Station. I was there. I was a grunt in the 47th Marines." He touched his chest where his heart hammered. "I watched your pack charge the Zithkar nest. Watched you fight with nothing but claws and teeth when your weapons ran dry. You saved 3,000 lives that day, including mine." Her eyes went wide. "The station. You were there? Tunnel B collapse section. I was trapped with 6 others. We heard the fighting above us, felt the station shake. When they finally dug us out, the Zithkar were gone. Exterminated. Your pack leader lost an arm in that battle." He met her gaze steadily. "I don't care about designer clothes or fancy restaurants. I care that you showed up. That took more courage than most people have." Eleanor's composure crumbled. A whine escaped her throat, a vulnerable, wounded sound. "I wanted to look nice for you. I wanted to be someone worth..." "You are." Jasper reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he took her hand. Her claws were retracted, her paw pad rough and warm. "You're worth everything. The clothes don't make the warrior. I learned that the hard way." She looked at their joined hands, then back at his face. Really looked at him. At the scars on his jaw, the prosthetic hand, the way he stood with his weight slightly off-center from an old injury, seeing him the way he saw her, broken but undefeated. "I can't afford dinner," she whispered. "Good thing I saved up my paycheck then. He grinned. Besides, I know a place 2 blocks from here. Veteran-owned. They don't care what you wear as long as you can tell a good war story. And I have a feeling you've got plenty. Eleanor's ears perked up fully for the first time. A smile crossed her muzzle, showing just a hint of fang. You want to hear about the time I accidentally challenged a Kraloxian general to a dominance fight because I didn't understand their hand gestures? Jasper laughed, really laughed. Absolutely. And I'll tell you about the time I got promoted because I was too scared to tell my CO I didn't know how to use the new tactical system. They started walking, hand in hand, away from the fancy cafe, away from the judgment and the stares. Eleanor stood a little straighter, her stride more confident. Jasper found his shoulders relaxing, the constant tension easing. Your sister was right, Eleanor said softly. You are perfect for me, yeah? Jasper squeezed her hand gently. Why's that? Because you see me. The real me, not the rags or the scars, just me. Jasper stopped walking. Right there on the busy street with aliens and humans flowing around them like water around stones. He turned to face her fully. Eleanor, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a mess. I have nightmares. I can't handle loud noises. Sometimes I disappear into my head for hours. I'm living in a tiny apartment working construction because I can't handle office jobs. And I shed everywhere. Eleanor countered. I howl in my sleep. I have trust issues and panic attacks. My idea of a good time is sitting in silence watching old Earth documentaries about wolves. They stared at each other, then both started laughing, deep, genuine laughter that felt like healing. We're quite a pair, Jasper said. Eleanor's tail wagged slightly, barely visible beneath her tattered clothing. The best pairs usually are. They continued walking, 2 warriors finding peace in each other's brokenness. Behind them, the city lights blazed on, indifferent to the small miracle occurring on its streets. But Jasper and Eleanor didn't need the city's attention. They'd found something infinitely more valuable. They'd found home.